Home Impodcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Blitzen?
No,
it's not. Oh, no.
They call me Rudolph because I got a big pimple on my nose.
Oh no, you poor guy. No, it's of course.
The Accutane did not work very well.
Oh, it made you depressed, and it didn't even work. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
No, your name is, of course, Jordan, and I know that because we've already spoken today when we talked earlier about the film Rush Hour for about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour for the same podcast, although people might not know that we talk about films like Rush Hour and things like that. But yeah, for our Patreon-only episode, we covered Rush Hour, one of our favorite films from youth. And boy, it's a humdinger of an episode, if I do say so myself.
I'm not even going to say favorite films from youth. I'm going to say favorite films from life.
Yeah, you're definitely... I mean, we both like it a lot, but you came off as like a super fan, which is good.
Yeah.
We're not fans of many things.
I like to nerd out on Rush Hour from time to time. No,
I would say mostly you're an anti-fan of almost everything that we bring up.
That is not true. I don't like lame like you, if that's what you're getting at. Anyways, we have a Patreon episode on Rush Hour. If people want to become patrons, what do they go to? Home Impodcast?
Nope.
What is it, Jordan?
No wonder we can't get new patrons. You don't know where to send people. Patreon.com/Home Impodcast. You can donate for as little as $1 a month. Right now we have $5 a month gets you a monthly bonus episode. And I don't know, we're talking about maybe moving that, making it a little bit more accessible to some people who are, it's the Christmas season, they're spending a lot of money on gifts. We don't want them to be barred from bonus episodes like Rush Hour, so...
No. And just keep in mind, Jordan has a small child, and this Patreon money goes directly to that child's diapers and mouth. So, yeah. No. How you doing today, Jordan? I mean, I know, but let's act like we don't.
You know what? The tree went up this weekend. We're recording just after Thanksgiving, and it's got me feeling festive in the holiday spirit. And speaking of the holiday spirit, did you see Tim Allen on Jimmy Fallon the other day?
I know damn well I don't watch Fallon.
Anti-fan. Adam Dietz.
Tim must like Fallon though, because I feel like he's on Fallon a lot.
Is he?
I feel like
he's on Norm Macdonald a lot.
Well, yeah, that too. But he's any clip we've ever cited of Tim since we started the podcast, he's on Fallon. Probably because Fallon asks the hard-hitting questions. He's not going to ask him about his political ties.
Everyone knows that Conan and Tim Allen do not get along.
Is that a thing?
No, it's not a thing.
Oh, he's not going to be on Conan's new podcast then?
Did you listen to that yet? Because I'm waiting for your review.
Yeah, I did. I think you oversold it a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I liked it. You said I was going to really like it, and I don't know.
Well, I should have taken into account that you're an anti-fan. So
I'm not an anti-fan, Jordan. I just don't like lame shit like you.
You're an anti-dentite.
If people want to hear Jordan's scathing review of Grindelwald Harry Potter, listen to our Patreon episode where he says it wasn't very good and then gives it a 7 out of 10. So
and then we figured out that my scale is a little broken and it's really a 3 out of 5.
We done changed the scale. Jordan, you were going to segue into Tim Allen. I just want to say that
off track.
I just want to say that because you didn't actually ask me how I was doing or what I was doing.
I don't care how you feel.
This evening, Jordan.
You're probably tired because you're off coffee.
I'm off coffee as of almost 2 weeks. So,
did you make friends with that Instagram influencer yet?
For more information on that,
I'm just trying to get people.
You're really teasing that Patreon episode.
Okay, sorry, Adam.
Yeah, Jordan.
How you feeling?
It's not about how I'm feeling so much as as we record this, we're about to talk about a Christmas episode. The tree is going to go up in nigh upon a few hours. Blizzards are heading toward Milwaukee, allegedly.
So I hear.
Yeah, so they say, but man, I'm looking out the window right now, and
it's the calm before the storm, Adam. Be careful.
Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it. And I felt like I had more. It's Christmas, and this episode kind of get me in the spirit, and I might watch Love Actually this evening.
Oh.
We're going to get the decor all going, and yeah, Jordan, I'm pretty excited. And before you talk about your Tim Allen thing, I'm going to kind of spring something on you here.
Uh-oh. I'm good on my feet, so...
Yeah, you're good when you write down notes and then have to read them back. So improv is definitely going to be a strong suit.
More authentic for me. So here we go.
Right, I'm going to call this hashtag Home Impodcast Christmas. Very clever.
All right.
And here's the challenge, Jordan. You and me.
Me and you.
Gift exchange of home improvement centric items this year. Cap of either $10 or $15. We send them to each other, and we open them as we record our "I'll Be Home for Christmas" episode.
I still haven't.
Who says no?
I still haven't gotten you a gift for those coasters that you gave me.
You got me a Powerline contract.
Oh, you're right. Mine was better.
I wore it to the gym. I wore it to the gym just this morning. What do you say? Good idea?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard to find home improvement centric gift ideas, but sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, what's the cap? 10 or 15? Probably 15 is more realistic. I'm okay with 10.
How about 15 including shipping costs?
15 including shipping costs. We don't go over. Get as close as you can. We'll exchange addresses, and we will open these items. Yeah, as part of
I like the idea that we don't know each other's addresses, although you've been here.
It's in my GPS somewhere. Hey Jordan, I hate to spoil this, but I already got a head start on looking for your gift, and I already got a couple of things picked out.
Oh, this is not fair at all.
No, we'll see.
Did you get me some of those blueprints?
Unfortunately, they are over $15. I would love to. That would be awesome.
Oh man! All right. Well, so I'm interested.
Your game. You're doing it.
Yeah, I can find time to do that. There's got to be something on some Cyber Monday tool time deal, right?
Yeah, there's tons of them out there.
People are clamoring for it, as they always are.
Hashtag Cyber Monday. Yeah.
All right, so is this hashtag home and
more home and problems?
Home and podcast Christmas.
Hashtag home and podcast Christmas.
Let's start a generosity movement within our fan base.
Go on.
I was hoping you'd take it and run with it, but
no.
We're going to be generous to each other, and I hope that as we tweet about that and talk about it on air and open, gifts on air, that we're just going to start a generous movement for people here. So.
Well said. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm already getting excited for that. I can't wait to see what you get me, and let's just say you're going to like what I get you.
I feel like I'm a little behind the 8 ball here, and you've got a leg up on me, but that's all right. I'll figure it out. All right, so
speaking of legs? Christmas and home improvement, you were saying?
This is a very long circle back to what I was saying about Jimmy Fallon and Tim Allen on Jimmy Fallon. And there was some conversation about Toy Story 4, some conversation about interacting with fans about his Tool Time fame, which was interesting, but I was more interested in the tagline that they had in the video that said that there was a different, more sinister background to the Santa Claus movie before it got changed. And Tim spoke about how at first, how when the original Santa Claus falls off the roof and Tim finds him and finds the card and all that kind of stuff, it was originally written that Tim would shoot the Santa Claus because he thought he was an intruder and kill Santa Claus. And that was apparently nixed because it's a Disney film and they couldn't handle that type of murder in a Christmas movie. Good idea, bad idea? Would you have rather have seen Scott Calvin as a murderer?
It's a terrible idea. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's the kind of thing where when you're writing a script, you just feels right to me. No, it's a terrible, terrible idea. Also, that character he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would he's like a nice guy. Like, he's a little bit irritable in the beginning, but he's not the kind of guy that's going to shoot an intruder. So no, I think that they made the right choice in axing that because, yeah, you start the character off, whether he's murdering someone, I don't know how you stand on people breaking into your house and whether or not you have the right to shoot. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. But that's a tough way to introduce a character. And yeah, for a children's film, it's probably a no-go.
A Santa children's movie. He also did talk about how when they were filming that, it's the kids on set really saw him as Santa Claus because he had the whole get-up on, and then he reiterated how much that
he swore all the time. He hates kids.
He hates kids. He reiterated that, and he said, he had more to say on that. So it's worth watching on YouTube if you just type in Jimmy Fallon, Tim Allen, and it'll come up. There's some interesting stories about Tool Time and whatnot. So, but I just wanted to share that with you and the audience at large.
Yeah, I mean, you sent me the article, so I already knew about it. But yeah, sharing it with the audience was
worth
the right thing to do.
Worth it, yeah, for sure. I don't want to keep anyone in the dark. Although I feel like our audience probably knew about this and was watching it live because they're just so dedicated.
Well, they're Fallon heads,
just like you.
Huge
all right,
Fallon heads.
Should we get into the episode?
Yeah, Jordan. I'm feeling a little Christmas spirit here. As I've said a couple times, I'm excited to talk about this. This is a good one. This is dare I say,
memorable?
Iconic? Memorable? I say iconic. I've seen this one several times before. So.
Well, good. You have always been a big fan of Alpina, so you just kind of circle around this one every once in a while. Episode 112, Twas the Flight Before Christmas, written by John Vandergriff. He last did Room Without a View when JTT got his own basement room. The spooky room. Yeah, it was spooky down there. That was the Halloween episode, right?
No. Halloween episode was the one with Jason and the Christmas party, and Brad makes out with a Monica Lewinsky lookalike.
You said Christmas party. I think you meant Halloween, right?
I don't know.
I miss Jason. Where's Jason when you need him?
Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Goes to Hell.
Okay. All right, that's one...
part 9.
Oh, yeah, well, that's embarrassing for you. Aired December 12th, 1995. Alternative title time, I've got 3. I think I've reused one of these, so you're most certainly going to call me out on it.
If you're doing don't do a...
I have a lot of...
Home Improvement Christmas or something like that.
No, I've got a lot of Al-centric titles.
Okay, I have so many.
I only have 3.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but realistically there's 3 good ones, but I'll run through them, sure.
All right, go ahead, open it up.
I'll start with some of the weaker ones.
Good, get them out early.
A hectic holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I could come up with 6 too if I started doing that stuff.
By all means.
All right, I just made one up. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Down Goes Doc.
Good one, yeah. All right,
sure.
The second one. A Christmas Choice. Sounds like a Lifetime movie.
It only happens in Evergreen. That's a line from one of those Hallmark movies that was so bad that I had to watch. But all right, how about Merry Clerkmas?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Here's one. What's happening?
You tell me.
Yeah.
All right. The Fine Al Straw.
Good one, yeah. Fight or Flight.
All right. I like that one. All right, this is my last one. The Ultimatum.
You've done that one before,
okay,
right?
I thought that's the one I did before.
Yeah, no, I guess. This one, I don't
Which
really
also,
know
the fact that I've done that one before and it made sense, seems like they reused this plot a little bit, but go ahead.
Well, yeah. Turn the Page, I guess, is a reference to the book Tim was going to get. I don't know. It seemed good at the time.
Let's turn the page on that title.
And here's the last one. It's a singing one. Jill have a blue Christmas without Tim.
It's kind of shocking that Elvis hasn't made an appearance on the podcast until now.
I know. I'll be doing all right.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Sorry.
Yeah, save it, man. Save it for your own titles.
I'm getting excited. All right, there's some really good alternative titles. They had a good one.
Not as good as they should have been, but this is like what, our 5th Christmas episode.
It's hard, yeah. With the Halloween ones and the Christmas ones, you get a lot of redundancy, and they had a good one to start with. So.
Yeah, you're right. They nailed it.
All right,
Didn't they do "Twas the Blight" before Christmas before as well?
They have a theme where they do "Twas the blank" before Christmas, I think.
I've never noticed that before. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to check all 5 Christmas episodes?
Not right now.
All right.
I'll get back to you.
All right, our audience will let us know. All right, let's open on the episode. Heidi is ringing the jingle bells to start Tool time. It's a very festive atmosphere, just like this podcast episode. And Tim and Al come out. They're in hazmat suits of sorts, but they are flash suits for electricians. And it's the salute to electricity. They do
run out of ideas on Tool time.
Yeah,
salute to electricity.
And you know
salute
what?
To the earth next.
And you know what? They've got some fancy suits on, so it's time to do a fashion show. And they do a little strutting. They got a fancy bag. It's not that good, but they do transition to an old holiday decorating contest. And Tim has swapped out these 7 watts happening light bulbs for 100 watts happening light bulbs. And you can see what's going to happen here.
What's happening?
Yep. They turn on the lights and it's blinding. I did like how the scene ends where they're both blinded and they can't really see. Tim ends up talking to a moose. And then Al talks to a snowman.
A snowman.
Respectively. Yeah. I mean, I want to give them both their due. But
yeah, they're on opposite sides of the stage talking to different, and they think that the gag is they're so blinded that Tim thinks that the moose is Al, and the same goes for Al and thinking that Tim is a snowman. That is a good gag.
The rest of it is a bad gag?
I don't know, I get apparently in this scene, Al says that the wattage could light up an airport. I saw that under trivia, and it said spoiler, and I was like, who are these spoilers for?
Well, if you think about what happens later, I guess.
Well, I know. It's just like, well...
You just didn't see how it would be a spoiler until it happened, huh?
I just didn't know that they needed to have the spoiler section above it. But
a lot of things are being spoiled for Home Improvement episodes.
We are home in the side yard. The kids are helping with the lighting this year. Tim is facing off against Doc Johnson, as he does every year. This year, Brad is going to take charge in particular because he's the only one the suit fits. We find out that Tim is leaving.
On Christmas Eve, no less.
Yeah, I know. That is a little flimsy, the whole timetable, go figure.
Time is not Home Improvement's strong suit. He's
going to the Kinross Winterfest. I had to look up where Kinross was. Were you familiar?
Yeah, I don't know where it is. Tell me.
It's in the UP somewhere.
Okay. Oh, that's a far trek.
Not too far from Marquette. So Kinross Winterfest, he's going to be the Grand Marshal of the Elf Parade. Would have been great to get that footage.
Well, yeah, what an honor that would have been.
But he's leaving tonight today, and apparently he's going to come back
Christmas Day,
morning?
I think?
Christmas Day? It was not clear.
Question mark? All I know is that Jill is bummed.
Jill is bummed, rightfully so. There are a lot of other days to do Christmas parades, every other day in December, for instance.
Just do one down the street, Seriously. Why do you got to go to Kinross?
Well, it's the prestige, as Al says later on.
Yeah, that's true.
Al and Eileen come over. Al's going up there as well. Eileen is apparently, I don't know if she is just like meant to hang out at the Taylors the whole time.
Yeah, I think she's not gonna have anybody to hang out with for Christmas Eve, so she came over. Jill invited her over, and Jill, would be feeling lonely as well. So it's nice. It's a nice gesture.
Al's mom pages him. She's already paged him 4 times this morning because Al got a pager. And through some exposition, we find out that she's visiting Al's brother Cal, and that Al and Eileen have a romantic weekend planned. And until Al gets a page, he calls his mom, and he bails on Eileen instantly and caves into his mother, which is it's going to be a problem moving forward in the episode.
I'd say, and the kerfluffle starts right away in front of the Taylors. quite awkward, I would imagine. They're fighting in this not stranger but friend's house. There's a lot of weight jokes in this scene, as usual about Al's mom, and even Jill joins in on it, which is blaming on Tim by osmosis, basically, and that sets up the conflict in this episode. It's compelling, I'd say.
Very.
All right, on the plane, they're making their way to Kinross. Al is venting to Tim, and Tim obviously does not want to hear it. This is kind of like a bogus thing to complain about, because Al keeps saying, like, Eileen is being unreasonable and blah, blah, blah. Tim sticks olive in his ears.
He chugs his martini in one drink and then sticks olives in his ears. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Al meanders through his feelings for Eileen. It's confusion to disappointment to spite. He says he's not even going to give her a special homemade gift, which was a necklace made of coins from a trip to Sweden for a dental conference of sorts. Tim makes light of that awful gift, and he says, my gift, I've got something good up my sleeve. We're going to this trip for a reason. This is where we get the line, where Al says...
This is where he turned the page.
We're going for... Yeah, a special book. Al thinks we're going for prestige. Instead, he's getting a first edition of Freud's essays. Sounds boring to me.
I mean, she'd like it. I looked it up, man. It's an expensive gift if he's in fact getting a first edition. I mean, if it's actually...
And he's making a flight to go,
Yeah, it's several $1,000s for a first edition. If it's one of Freud's
he's got to make
original.
up for all those piston tickets that he spent.
That's true. Well, he sold them all off, so he's got extra money.
That's right.
Yeah, as usual, when you get like TV, movie, airplanes, very wide, wide aisles, very comfortable,
generous.
Yeah, it's just very spacious for a flight from Detroit to the Kinross International Airport.
Do you think they have an airport? I know Alpena does. I looked that up, but do you think Kinross does?
No. I mean, maybe in the same way that like Davison had an airport, like it's there. I don't know.
That was a private one.
It's there for emergency landings or something, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know. It says Chippewa County International Airport. It's in Sault Ste. Marie, though, so I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah, maybe I'll take it to get home for Christmas. What do we got here? Prestige Parade. We find out that because of bad weather, the airport is closed, and they're going to be diverted to Alpena, and hilarity will ensue.
This is when the episode really takes off. Alpena Airport. It's a dinky little thing. There's a lot of sarcasm coming, and they meet the clerk in charge here, and they ask, like, where's the main terminal? He says, take 2 steps forward. And they're there, and we're going to get a lot of this clerk, and I know that you've got a lot of information on him. Should you do it now?
Sure, I'll do it now. The clerk...
What's his name in this episode? I don't know that I ever hear it.
His name is... The Clerk. He is credited as The Clerk, so his name was...
All right.
Name in real
Merry
life
Clerkmas.
is Tom Poston. Best known for Newhart, in which he played George Utley. He's also in Christmas with the Cranks, Tim Allen. The Old Dark House, Mork and Mindy. Passed away in 2007 at the age of 85, but won a Primetime Emmy for his work on the Steve Allen Show in 1956. So I don't... Must have been some kind of a comedy series, but he also was in Coach as well. So, but primarily known for the Newhart role as George Utley, I would say. So, yeah, I like him in this. We'll talk about the report, but I think he's very funny.
He is very funny. I guess if you're working in the Alpena Airport, you got to have a sense of humor, right?
Yeah,
and
he's also got a lot of sign. He's got a lot of time for like sign gags, Must be the Alpena Airport has like a pretty high sign budget. But yeah, they come in and, I wrote down so first, he's like, go to the car rental counter, and he flips his sign over, and, it's the car rental counter, and he tries to talk them into getting a convertible. It's like a lot of like, he'll lead them down a certain path, and then he'll say like, wait, well, the roads are actually closed. And then, he's like, well, I was wondering why you guys wanted a car in the first place.
Where's the gift shop?
Gift shop, yeah, he's the gift shop. Oh wait, the gift shop's closed. It's a lot funnier than it sounds, probably. But yeah, we're just getting a lot of sign gags and a lot of this guy's he's a comedic genius as far as I'm concerned.
MVP of the episode.
Yeah.
They move into the next scene where they're still stuck at the airport, and they're on the Tim is on the payphone with Jill. She knew this would happen. This is her worst nightmare. Jill is bummed, and she says the boys will be too, but then they come in, and they're excited, not because they're, they don't want to see their dad, but they think they can do this lighting contest by themselves, and they're excited about the opportunity. Tim then yields his time to Al because Eileen wants to talk urgently. There is kind of a funny moment here where Randy's on the other end, and Al thinks it's Eileen and says sugar pumpkin, and Randy says, sure, I'll go get your sugar pumpkin. I don't remember the exact
something
verbiage,
along those lines. Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Al thinks he has a compromise in hand. He says, we'll spend time, we'll ring in the new year with Mom, and then we'll ship her off, and then we'll get the most romantic weekend together. But Eileen is not agreeable to it. I think... she realizes that it's kind of about principle at this point, and it's time to cut the cord. She says, you're 37, it's me or your mother, and then hangs up. So she makes it pretty clear that a decision needs to be made.
What do you make of this Al-Eileen dust up here? I mean, Al should probably just break up with Eileen, especially at the end of the episode. He's really having a lot of difficulty making this decision. I
think Eileen should break up with Al.
I mean, they shouldn't be together, I guess, is what I'm saying, because he has a lot of difficulty, and this is should be kind of open and shut case.
A no-brainer?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I get why she's mad, yeah, for sure. It's also funny they mentioned Al's 37, and I don't know. In my mind, I guess, because I was, younger when we watched the show originally, the idea of him being less than 10 years older than me is, I don't know, kind of strange, but anyways.
Are you scared?
Yeah.
Are you scared for your future?
Yeah,
I'm
constantly
terrifying.
fearing my own mortality.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't blame you. Yours is coming soon.
Well, that's what I told you. I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, you said if things go according to plan. So at the end of this scene, Tim is exploring opportunities back at the service counter. Talks about, snowmobile. Yes, that would be a great idea, but nobody has one. What about a dog sled? He says, sure, we've got a sled, and I have a dog, but the dog's a poodle. And so, yeah, the clerk is at it again, and he's making mincemeat out of Tim, really.
He's a rascal.
He sure is.
He's a rascal.
He's a wily old devil. I like him.
All right, we are back to Alpina. And Tim wants to take the next plane back. Wait, did we already? Maybe we're ahead of that.
Well, the storm has let up in Kinross.
Indeed it has. Yeah. Let me find myself here in these notes. Tim wants to take next plane back, boys. So we find out the storm has let up, but there may or may not be a flight coming out this evening. Is that correct, or am I confused on this, Jordan?
All right, so let me take it from here. Yeah. The storm has let up in Kinross, but the bad news is in Alpina it's now getting bad. Yeah. So they're going to be stuck there for a couple of days. But the good news is that, they want to get a hotel booked. They've all been booked up, but the good news is that the clerk rents out a room in his house. $45 normally, but in the winter season, it's $200 a night.
It's also, all of his lines are funny because, he says something, and then he pauses, and then he kind of keeps talking, and you find out the truth, I have a car, but it's a convertible, but also, it's, he keeps, doing this thing where, but also, and it gets worse and worse.
He's giving false hope.
It's funny, yeah.
At this certain instance, Tim threatens to contact the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, and Tim knows what's coming, so he turns around the sign, and sure enough, the clerk is also in charge of the Better Business Bureau. Tim anticipates and he starts looking at the sign. It's good stuff, yeah. Before the scene ends, Tim solicits something from an old woman. He asks if he and Al could stay at their place, they'll pay. Stay at her place, they'll pay, and she calls them perverts, which seemed a little out of place here. And then we find out that she's the mother of the clerk. Somehow, he says, yeah, hi, Mom. See you at home, Mom, or something.
See you at home, Mom. Yeah, something like that.
Now we're back to the boys working hard in the yard.
Hey, yeah, we are.
I think that's I think that's where you were.
Yeah.
I think there's a creepy clown here. Apparently a broken wise man is being replaced with a clown.
Where'd they get the clown from?
Just hanging out in the basement right next to Randy's room.
It's quite terrifying and lifelike. Yeah, no wonder he's scared down there. What does Jill mean when she says that a clown is holding a bottle of seltzer?
Oh, it's like when they spray. Don't they do like the spray thing from their flour and stuff? Isn't that part of the gag?
What's seltzer have to do with that?
I think it's just included usually in the gag for some reason. I don't know if it has some sort of interaction, but that's where it comes from. You want to Google clowns and seltzer?
I'm afraid what's going to come up, but I'm doing it.
Clown seltzer
bottle. Clownopedia. I'm on Clownopedia, man.
The places you never knew you would go because of Home Improvement.
The clowns sometimes use the seltzer bottle for pranks and slapstick comedy, but the clown who uses it most of all is Clarabelle. Who's Clarabelle?
Be careful, you're going to get
Clarabelle is very scary, and I think that this is as far. Let's just say that there is a Clownopedia out there for anybody interested, and it may or may not.
And you won't be going there ever again.
And that is first and last on that. So, glad I asked the seltzer question, clarified Clarabelle. So we're home. They're using a clown instead of a wiseman. They're getting into the battle with Doc Johnson. They've kind of taken on a sense of pride. Jill comes out and she has a little one-on-one with Wilson, and it isn't of much substance, Jordan. But we play clips of Wilson, so roll that clip.
Well, heidi ho ho ho, neighborette, and a Merry Christmas.
Maybe on your side of the fence. I got boys crawling all over the roof, Tim stuck in Alpena, and a depressed orthodontist crying into her pfeffernuss.
Well, Tim is stuck in Alpena. That is such a lovely town. I have a very good friend who works up there. He's a clerk at the airport.
I'm so disappointed. I was really hoping to give Tim his present tonight. I got him something really special.
Well, I assume it has something to do with a car or a tool.
Oh, yeah, both. I got him a set of tools for the car and this thing called a power inverter that allows you to plug your tools right into the car lighter. This way, if you get stuck in traffic, instead of swearing, he can build something.
Well, that sounds like the perfect gift for Tim.
So, are you and Judith spending the holidays together?
Oh, yes, indeedy. This is the first Christmas that we spent together, and I am so looking forward to giving her the sweater that I knitted for her.
You knitted her a sweater?
Mm-hmm. Right after I sheared the sheep and spun the wool.
Wow.
Then later on, I'm going to fix her dinner.
What are you making?
Lamb chops.
So yeah, Jill is sharing her bad Christmas experience here with Wilson, and we do get another joke here where Wilson has a friend at the airport in Alpena, and it's that clerk that we've seen so much about in this episode. And they share a little bit more about...
A little too much for me.
Yeah, that's where you drew the line?
It's just like, okay, I don't know about that. I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so, Wilson. Jill got Tim a power inverter and tool set for Christmas, and then we get more information about how Wilson and Judith are still together, and a lot of it sounds like a bad day for this lamb. He's getting shaved, he's getting sheared, he's getting eaten. So
yeah,
like you said, not a lot of substance unless you're eating
that lamb. Yeah,
unless you're having some lamb chops.
It would be nice to. What are they gonna see Judith ever? I mean, is she gonna be in any more episodes? We've heard about her for almost the whole season.
Yeah, it's weird that they mention her like 4 or 5 times, but we don't see her.
I know, it is weird.
What's the point? What's your angle?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Back to the airport.
Back at the airport. It's been too long since we've been at the airport.
A lot of cutting to the airport, the Alpena airport. Special announcement from the clerk: hotel rates are back down from $200 to $45, which Tim very aptly recognizes as being news that the storm has let up. I don't know. He got to that conclusion much faster than I would have. That is the truth, and it's going to be...
Maybe if you were just like focused on this flight for 3 hours, you would be, that would be what you're thinking about. I don't know.
But it's 15 minutes until the next flight.
That's a quick turnaround,
isn't it? They had the plane was primed and ready to go.
Yeah, well, there's not much going on at the Alpena airport, so... and then Al is still here wondering, how do I choose between Mom and Eileen?
He's so annoying in this he's so annoying in this episode. It's grating. It's grating. Hey, obviously we are both close personal friends with the Karn man, so I mean him no disrespect. It's the writing, but I was pretty ready to have Al out of this episode.
Yeah, you're gonna fight John.
Do you think we should get Carmen in our hashtag Home Impodcast Christmas?
Ooh, if anyone can spur on a generosity movement, it's the Karn man.
That guy hosted Family Feud. You're trying to tell me he can't get things going here? That'd be pretty cool.
I think he can get things going.
How about we do a home improvement gift exchange? Me, you, PR, Carmen Finestra as well.
Can we get Brett White in there?
Brett White as well. Man, that would be a party. That would be a Christmas party.
Oh man, we gotta put it. We gotta start. We'll send out your invites.
And
we gotta get it started.
And my sister. I'm trying to think of people that.
Oh yeah, all the guests we've ever. Is there any other guests?
I think that does it.
I mean, does that mean Dracula's showing up?
Yeah. Well, can we cover his appearance fee? Because it's like $2,500 for an hour.
That's true. It's crazy that we luck out with him giving voicemails and stuff.
You have to hide all the garlic, which is pretty difficult in and of itself.
Yeah, he might be more trouble than he's worth, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know though. It might actually not be. It might be worth it.
We'll think about it as we finish.
I don't know, Jordan. It might actually be a good idea.
Well, let's move on.
Sure, man.
All right, so we're back on the flight from Alpena to Metro Detroit, and Al is still wrestling with it, as we said. Tim tries to break it down. He's like, all right, I'm going to solve your problem because you're a giant idiot. And he says, Al, he talks to himself. Tim says, do you want... Tim, you got to talk him out of it. Tim says, do you want kids? And, he says...
She talks to Al like he's a child that doesn't understand basic human sexuality or, have any rationale whatsoever.
It's a wonder how they're once-a-weekers, He mentioned they're once-a-weekers. I find it hard to believe after this conversation. But, Al tells a little bit of backstory about something he promised his father who passed away. He would take care of his mother before, after his dad died. And I don't know whether that has any...
before? How many people are making promises to their parents, this is a Tim thing, this is an Al thing? I don't know. But
one thing I've learned from this show is that you don't make promises to your parents on their deathbed.
I'm not promising anything. No.
I can just see it now. Your parents,
you're tied
your parents are trying to get you to promise something. You said, "Nah, I learned from Home Improvement. I'm not doing that."
Hey, sorry, I don't think so.
I don't think so, Tim.
To carry around.
All right, Tim says basically you need to figure out how to prioritize Eileen over your mom, and what would your dad say? And his dad would say, stay with your mom and go into the track. So we don't get the idea that Al's dad was a great father or husband.
No.
At the end of this conversation, Al says, I'm going to set some limits, and he's going to get rid of the beeper. So that's good. I guess he figured it out. I liked it when the woman
on the plane, and I didn't get this the first time around, where she asked, are you a doctor? And I was like, why did she say that? And then I realized because apparently maybe in 1995, 96, only doctors had beepers and pagers. I'm assuming.
They're busy. They got places to go. It seemed like they panned onto a passenger on the flight for a little while.
Yeah.
And it almost seemed like something was cut from the scene.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Possible.
So we approached Detroit. More flight trouble. I mean, they just can't
win.
Where they need to be. And, they're approaching Detroit, but the airport is not visible. They cannot land, so they're going to have to divert to Toledo. Tim has had it at this point, no Christmas, no Jill, no gift, no kids, no lights. It's kind of the final straw for him. And suddenly, a giant light emanates from the ground and blinds the whole plane. I'm surprised that the pilots didn't just, swerve and crash.
Yeah.
But it's the Taylor house, and it's enough light that it breaks through the fog, and they can land. And the whole crowd on the plane cheers. So.
Tim's able to see the clown from up there as well.
Yeah, talk about realism. Yeah. This episode has it in spades.
It's real, and it's surreal.
It's
just like
satisfying.
Clarabelle.
Please don't bring her up anymore. At home, final scene. The boys have won the lighting contest. They got a fancy trophy.
Who judges this? I don't know. Whatever.
Who cares? They say Dad has been holding us back. And then we move over to Al and Eileen, and they have reconciled, and Al says it's the easiest decision of my life, which we know it wasn't.
Yeah,
they
right.
make out. They're going to have their once a week tonight. Tim and Jill do a gift exchange.
You texted me and you were like, 2004. Good stuff. I was like, what are you talking about?
I sent you a lot of winks and thumbs ups and stuff.
He said, let's just say you're going to like what happens at the 20-minute mark. And I did. Yeah, I did.
It turns into Home Improvement After Dark.
Yeah, it did.
Tim and Jill are doing a gift exchange. Tim obviously doesn't have his book that he wanted, but he gives her the beeper from Al, and Jill says, oh, good, I got paged by Al's mom. Hilarious ending.
Bummer. Yeah, roll credits fade to black. Jordan, I would be remiss. This isn't especially funny, but Alpina is the setting of this episode, and a friend of my father's, and a teacher that you are perhaps familiar with, Ken Crouch. He lived in Alpina, and he recently passed away of cancer. Oh. And a dear friend of my dad's, and a guy I thought a lot of as well. So I just wanted to, say, Ken, you'll be missed. And I thought of you often as I heard of this Alpina setting. So no good time to drop that in, but
No.
There's not a good time to drop it in.
There is not, but that is a moving tribute. Yeah. I'm sure he would have never guessed that you would.
No, not on Home Impodcast.
Shout him out on Home Impodcast. Yeah. Alpina. My best friend Sam, his grandma has been living in Alpina forever, and recently has left the town and moved down to Davison to be closer to family. So,
hey Jordan,
whenever I hear Alpina,
Jordan,
I think of her.
Is she dead?
She's alive.
Okay, then don't try to.
She's 95 though.
Why are you trying to outdo me?
This is not a one-up. You were just sharing connections with Alpina. I was sharing a connection with Alpina as well.
But she's still alive, right? So, I guess
All right, let's move on.
I gotta come on.
Nickel for your thoughts, Adam.
I like this episode. I think it's really funny. The Tom posting stuff at the as the clerk is good. I remember that from when I was young. The reveal on the way home with the lights, also very funny. Good lines throughout. Al is kind of annoying, but in general, I'm a softie for the Christmas episodes, and I'm always going to like those more than the regular ones. But I think this one is solid, and it stacks up there with some of the better Christmas episodes. So yeah, I would say enjoyed it quite a bit.
I'd say you're a softie just overall. So
That's true.
Sentimental guy.
Yeah.
Sentimental guy. Maybe I didn't like it as much as you. Okay. I agree. Like Tom Poston as the clerk is awesome. Really, really good performance by him. Very funny. Laughed both times I watched it, and remembered some of this from watching it in younger days. Al did become pretty brutal here, and I think they've reused this plot line a couple times. So that was a bit annoying, but I did like to see the boys, step it up. I was a little afraid of that clown, so that was definitely a low point. But
yeah,
I would say I liked it more than I didn't, but perhaps not as much as you did. So, which would make me an anti-fan on this episode.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hater.
No, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, a festive episode, a little bit of Christmas spirit, and a lot of bit of Tom Poston. So can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong there. That's right. All right. What's next, Jordan?
We're going to move on to Sean's social media corner. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeimpodcast.com. You can go to patreon.com/homeimpodcast to support the show for as little as $1 a month and have access to outtakes, bloopers, behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. We make our own just like the TV show does because we're funny like that. And we have extra bonus episodes available, stickers. I don't know. What else could you guys want? If you want other things, tell us. But go to patreon.com/homeimpodcast. We're on Twitter at homeimpodcast, facebook.com/homeimpodcast as well. And you can support us also by going to your favorite podcasting app or iTunes and leaving a review. 5-star review. Write something nice. We'll read it on the air. With that, Adam, I'm wondering what you've been doing on Twitter because you're always up to no good.
My phone won't load Twitter.
Poor timing. Is Twitter down?
No, but sometimes my phone
Did we break the internet?
I can go to. All right, I'm here. Okay, Jordan, Twitter is aflame. It's ablaze. It's hot. It's fire. It's lit. It's all those things. Last week, poll. Do you have a good relationship with your mother? 25 total votes. Poll King is back. 12% said, I'd rather not say. Ooh, love to hear more. 12% said no. 76% said yes. So you got to feel good about that around the holidays.
Yeah, that's a little bit of family.
You voted no,
bonding.
correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a wonder that my mom came to visit me.
Otherwise, man, I got to shout out Benjamin Pope at Statsman2886 for tweeting at us during the Lions game, right after the Lions recovered a fumble during that terrible, heartbreaking Thanksgiving game. When he tweeted appropriately, the Lions just recovered a fumble. The Lions just recovered a fumble.
What a callback to the first or second season?
I would say first. That's he's a true fan. Otherwise, I had some. What else we got going on? You'd think I'd look at this beforehand.
Hashtag Home Impodcast Christmas.
At Dagobah sent a photo of electronic football game that he ordered in the mail, and then he posted a picture. It's just like one that Randy has in the episode. So this guy's such a fan. He's getting toys that even the kids played with. So, yeah, I mean, Twitter's good. Twitter's great. Hashtag Home Impodcast Christmas. It's going to probably be trending relatively soon. So, stay on board with that. And you know what? The gift that keeps on giving, redbubble.com, we got Home Impodcast logo. They'll put it on pretty much anything for you. I think the stickers are probably the best, but coffee mugs, T-shirts, laptop cases, phone cases, sweatshirts, baseball tees, they got it all. 20% off. Well, Cyber Monday will be over by the time this comes out, but I bet if they're like everybody else, Cyber Monday began last Thursday and it goes until next Thursday or something like that. So
it goes until Christmas Day, basically.
Yeah, I might as well call it Cyber Month. Am I right or am I right? Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Adam. I don't think I say thank you enough. So
you certainly
thank
don't.
You for that.
No, you absolutely don't.
Yeah. You know what else I want to say, Adam?
Yeah.
It's your turn for the question of the week.
Jordan, in this episode, Tim and Al have difficulty at an airport. And they can't get out and they want to get home. And I want to know, Jordan, do you have any airplane horror stories?
Oh, I've been pretty lucky. I've had, a couple of hour delays, but I've never had anything where you have to stay over the night. Maybe when I was younger coming down to Florida, but I don't really remember those when I was much, much younger. But since I've been flying as teenager / adult, I've been pretty blessed with just straight through flights, no delays or anything crazy. So I hate to disappoint you. I know you were hoping for just sad story after sad story from me, but I don't have anything to share on that front.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make up for it. I feel like I've had tons of bad experiences.
Yeah, I've given them all to you. So
yeah, that's right. First one that came to mind, it was kind of a similar circumstance. I had gotten out of college for Christmas break, which is about, I miss teaching because I would have been done for Christmas about December 12th, and I would have gone back about January 12th. Granted, no paychecks coming in between that time, but man, that was a nice break. As it stands, anyways, so I'd gotten out of college and I went on a trip to Las Vegas with my uncle the week before Christmas, and we were flying back December 23rd. And there was a layover in it must have been Atlanta, I believe. And I don't know, the connecting flight came in late, and we ended up missing our flight. It potentially meant that we were not going to make it home until midday Christmas Eve. And eventually, I think. I don't know what happened exactly. I think my uncle might have just paid to get us on an earlier flight out. I also saw Mark Ingram at the airport. So it was a very...
And he ran away from you because he remembered how much you tackled him.
I struck fear into his eyes. But no, we almost came home late on Christmas as well. And that's a bad feeling. And a lot of people were very mad, as I recall. And a lot of negativity around the New Year's, and I didn't like that. Otherwise...
No...
I've missed lots of flights. I missed a flight just a maybe a year ago, going to a bachelor party in Austin for Anthony's bachelor party. That was a bummer. Missed a flight out of New York City one time. Lots of missed flights. Flying sucks. No one should ever do it. Don't bother. It's driving is better.
Walking is the best.
If you can walk or ride your bike, I would say that is the best option. Driving second best. Flying, that's way, 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 way down the line. But
that's down the list. That's for sure.
Are you flying or driving back from Michigan for Christmas? Probably flying.
Oh, we're flying. I hate driving that drive. I've done it so many times that it drives me insane. I think the closest I've ever come to missing a flight is there was like a morning I had to take an early flight. My grandma she was getting close to the end basically, so I was able to make it home before that time, but I had to take the earliest flight in the morning, and I didn't expect a lot of people there, and there was a crazy line at TSA, and I got to the door, and I was literally there about 10 seconds before they closed the door, so I was the last one in and was able to make it. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever been to missing a flight or anything.
When I was flying when I missed the flight to go to Austin, I was flying Spirit, which is should be called Garbage Airlines. And I missed it.
Not a sponsor of this podcast.
Garbage Airlines. And I missed it because I was I don't know. It was a whole confusing thing. But I went up to the whatever desk, and I was saying how I'd missed my flight. Yeah. Can I please be put on another one? And this guy was like, "You missed the flight. It's your fault. And there's not a damn thing we could do for you." And he said that, and I was like, "What's your name? I want to report you." And he took his badge off and he put it in his pocket. It was the weirdest thing. And then he just walked, and then he wouldn't put it back on. It was like I was in a movie. He took his name badge off. He didn't want me to know his name. Bad situation. Wow, really ugly.
That guy had a bad day, I would say. And he took it out on you.
That's Garbage Airlines.
Not a great idea. Jeez. We have another friend who loves Spirit Airlines.
Who's that?
So kind of a mixed bag.
The only reason anyone loves Spirit is because they're cheap, and you can quote me on that. They make you pay. They make you pay $50 for bags. The ticket doesn't include a bag.
Oh yeah, a lot of we've flown Frontier, which I actually really liked, but they're like that too. And when we fly, we're taking Allegiant because they go straight from Sanford to Flint, which we wanted a straight through flight. They also charge for bags and stuff. So
sounds like there's more than one Garbage Airline. Catch my drift.
Yeah, we'll see. When I was I was taking my mom back for an Allegiant flight. We got to the airport, and then I got a voicemail when we got to the airport that said her flight had been canceled and rescheduled for tomorrow. So I had to drive all the way back an hour home. Yeah, so that was not a great experience.
Flying's a nightmare. But, moral of the story, don't fly Spirit. And if that guy comes down on you at O'Hare and he takes his badge off and puts it in his pocket,
tackle him.
Call Spirit, complain, and they'll give you a $150 voucher. So, it all ends well. Jordan, what are we covering next week?
Next week? Oh, brother.
They do too much of the brother-mother titles. Really. It's not real. All right, well, I'll look forward to that. Always good to have a Marty-centric episode.
You're an anti-Marty fan.
After the high of this Christmas episode, let's bring Marty into the fold. Just again, we'll be doing episodes for the next couple weeks, and then we'll have our I'll Be Home for Christmas episode, and then potentially will be a break, and then we'll pick it up in the new year and continue on season 5. Sound good, Jordan?
Sounds amazing. We're also going to have a little bit of a preview of our Rush Hour episode coming in the feed, so get excited for that.
And there will be a really cool bonus December Patreon episode. We should probably do the Patricia Richardson Lifetime movie. That would be a good one.
Perhaps.
Because she's doing a Christmas. I don't know how I would watch it necessarily, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, Jordan, it's been a pleasure talking to you, listeners. Thank you for listening. Wishing you all a cheerful holiday season as December rolls around, and I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.